Koenigsegg celebrates the 20th anniversary of the CC8s with the updated CC850 supercar. The CC850 is the ideal combination of classic design and cutting-edge technology and is engineered to be the perfect driver's car. The Koenigsegg CC850 features an open-gated manual and 9-speed auto. 20 years after the introduction of Koenigsegg's first production car, the CC8s defines the new megacar category. In celebration of the CC8s's 20th anniversary, the Koenigsegg CC850 was unveiled at 2022 The Quail, a motorsports gathering to an audience of media, customers, and industry luminaries. Inspired by the original CC8s, the CC850 features the classic Koenigsegg silhouette, while the interior is a work of art. Meanwhile, every innovation under the hood is designed to enhance the driving experience, including the Engage Shift system and light-speed transmission. The CC850 was arguably the star of the show at Monterey Car Week. With stunning looks and a trippy manual transmission from the future, we're not ones to argue. Buyers seem to think so too because the car has already sold out of its initial production run of 50 units. The Swedish supercar maker said in a statement Thursday that demand for the CC850 was so high at Monterey that not even some of Koenigsegg's most loyal buyers had a chance of snagging an allocation, much fewer customers new to the brand. So it asked a handful of long-term clients with allocations whether it would be all right if production numbers were raised so others could get a shot at ownership. Responses were positive, according to Koenigsegg. The CC850 proved so popular that Koenigsegg is adding another 20 cars to the production run. Despite an expected price tag in the millions, the combination of rarity and some rather exquisite details means that CC850's original set has already sold out. It's unclear if the additional CC850s have been spoken for. Number 1. Drive. There are a lot of elements that make the Koenigsegg CC850 a special machine, but its transmission is one of the most fascinating parts. The gearbox has a clutch that allows a driver to operate things like a 6-speed manual. But there's also a slot in the gated layout that makes the transmission function as a 9-speed automatic. Engineering Explained shows how this complicated setup works in a new video. Usually, a manual gearbox has a clutch that the driver operates with his or her left foot. Depressing the pedal and moving the shifter allows for swapping through the cogs. The transmission in the CC850 has 7 clutches, and the system controls them electronically. When you move the gear shift, the technology is handling the operation of one clutch. Meanwhile, your foot's operation of the pedal is modulating the signal to another of them. The result is a high-tech version of shift-by-wire. Technically, the operation is happening electronically, but the clutch operation is not simply on or off. Instead, the pedal acts like a hydraulically assisted unit. In theory, this means that driving the CC850 feels just like shifting any other manual gearbox. There's a D position on the right and below the reverse gear. Putting the gear shift here causes the transmission to operate like an automatic and use all 9 ratios. If you shift from D to R, then the CC850 goes into reverse without needing to use the clutch. But if you go from one of the numbered positions to R, then the clutch is necessary. To add another layer of complexity, the manual gear ratios change depending on the driving setting. In track mode, the gear that would be third in automatic mode becomes the ratio for the first gear position. The advantage of this is that the system selects the ratios that are best for the conditions. Number 2. Interior and exterior. From the outside, it's clear the CC850 has taken plenty of a design influence from the CC8s. We can see typical Koenigsegg features such as the teledial wheels, wraparound windscreen, huge side intakes, and of course, the look-at-me cycrohelix doors. The interior boasts a symmetrical minimal design aesthetic. This symmetry makes adaptation for left and right-hand drive versions practical. The round steering wheel, the open gate shifter with exposed mechanical components, and the analog chrono cluster showcase the precision work that underpins the CC850. The CC8s's signature rotary dial switches on the dash were obviously deemed too retro for the CC850, as we can see a portrait touchscreen instead. There's also plenty of exposed carbon fiber and a pair of very thin bucket seats. The gated ESS shifter is a work of mechanical art and is reminiscent of Swiss chronograph Synchrocrid, aesthetically beautiful and completely functional. Great care has been taken to make the ESS one of the most engaging manuals ever created. Additionally, the Swedish flag crowns the manual shifter as it did in the original manual CC8s. Koenigsegg says that the car undergoes a 25-step painting process to achieve its extraordinary finish. There are so many layers of paint and clear coat that the detailer's paint thickness gauge maxes out at over 39.4. To put that into perspective, the thickness of Rolls-Royce's paint needs about 7.1. Number 3. Performance. The CC850 is powered by a twin-turbo 5.0-liter V8 engine. Like the Jesko, the CC850 does not have a flywheel, making it extremely responsive and fast revving. On top of its incredible powertrain, the CC850 is also nimble with a 1:1 power-to-weight ratio, 1,385 horsepower in a 1,385 kilogram curb weight package. There's also 1,385 Newton-meter of torque available. The flat plane crank, the dry-dumped engine can run on synthetic fuels and doesn't use a flywheel to improve responsiveness. The red line sits at 8,500 RPM. Koenigsegg has achieved a curb weight of 1,385 kilograms with the CC850 thanks to extensive use of carbon fiber and Kevlar body panels in its monocoque. We are yet to receive performance figures but expect a sub-3-second 0 to 62 miles per hour time and a top speed well above 200 miles per hour, making it a real rival for another supercar with a manual gearbox, the Gordon Murray Automotive T50. Using the Jesko platform means the CC850 is 1.6 inches longer in wheelbase than the original CC8S. The overall width is the same, but the new car is slightly taller overall, so the basic proportions are similar. The multi-link front and rear suspension has the same layout as the Jesko Absolute and includes the so-called triplex damper that links the tops of the rear control arms to reduce squat under hard acceleration. In terms of suspension tune, the CC850's setup is between that of the track-oriented Jesko Attack and the go-fast Jesko Absolute. It's that sweet spot in the middle where it's very capable on the track, but just not as hard and extreme as the Attack, but it's firmer than the Absolute. Von Koenigsegg says, the CC850 rolls on forged aluminum wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sports 4S tires, size 265 35R20 at the front and 325 30R21 at the rear. The telephone dial wheel design echoes that of the wheels of the CC8S. The brakes are Koenigsegg's own, with massive carbon ceramic rotors. The fronts measure 16.1 inches, the rears 15.6, clamped by calipers also of Koenigsegg's own design. In the Jesko, they deliver incredible performance, and the chassis displays remarkable stability to the point where, on a level surface, you can take your hands off the steering wheel and the car will pull up straight and true under braking. The CC8S had no active aerodynamics. The CC850 has a wing that powers out of the rear of the engine cover and can flip to act as an air brake. It also has active flaps under the front of the car, active ride height adjustment, and active dampers. Thank you for staying with us this far, lovely viewers. Here's the promised bonus fact as a token of thanks. The CC bit in the CC8S means coupe convertible, a nod to the fact of the original Koenigsegg's removable roof, which could be stored in the frunk. Looks like an integral part of the car when in place, but it also references Christian von Koenigsegg's nickname as a kid, CC. The 8 stands for the number of cylinders in the 4.7-liter engine, which was based on Ford's modular V8, and the S signifies it's supercharged. What do you think about this new spin on the original Koenigsegg CC8S? Comment down below and let us know your thoughts. If you enjoyed the content, uplift the channel by hitting like, subscribe, and ring the YouTube bell to meet us again in the next video. Until next time.